Mary Esposito is absent. Heidi Soper. Here. Michael Ryder.
Here.
Veronica Cortez is absent. Amy Owens. Carmen Ortiz is absent, and Mark Newman.
Present.
Perfect, you have a quorum.
Veronica will be here. She's just running a little late. Here she comes to the door right now.
All right,
Veronica. So she is here. All right, before we get into general public comment, you know, first of all, I want to thank Heidi for running the meeting.
Allegiance.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess we can do that first before I go into that. Correct. All right. And I will start. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God.
Amen.
Thank you for the reminder. Taking it out of order. I just want to thank Heidi for running the meeting last month. While I was gone, he is heaven sent. She takes care of a lot of things, and I delegate a lot of stuff to her, and he does a really great job for this community by keeping track of things and by he does a lot of communication for us, and big set of kudos, and we'll have she does a great job.
And she does a lot of meetings too that nobody knows about. I'll be running in the back of the meeting and, oh, she's already there with her little presentation. It's always good stuff. She's always representing what you have to say. So it's not just that she's here, she's everywhere. She's mom ahead. So thank you for what you do.
And my endorsement, I think next time we actually have a vote on here, I think that we should probably put her in that chair. And I will step away and let her take over. He pretty much does a lot of it right now for me. With the many things that I've got going, and my schedule doesn't look like in the future it's going to clear up. It's probably going to get busier. So the next time we have a vote for officers, I think I would be the my endorsement for being the next chair of the tab. As we get into public comment, I want to remind you that you have 3 minutes to speak. We have public comment before and second time later on, just before the end of the meeting. I want to make sure you understand it's information. Do not attack persons. You can attack departments, you can attack counties, you can attack cities. But don't make it personal. Don't attack individuals. The organizations, I understand, can make you angry sometimes, or they don't do what they're supposed to do if you think, if you have a grievance against them. But personal attack, you don't want any of that kind of thing in a community meeting. Basically, we all live here, and whether we see eye to eye on everything, we all live here and we're all working for the same thing for our community. I don't think we have too many presentations, but during presentations, we have that, of course, the fire department, the sheriff's department, neighborhood deployment, things like that. Don't interrupt and ask questions until the presentation is finished. And then they'll ask for questions, and then of course you can have questions. I mentioned try not to ask multiple questions in a row. Ask your question, let somebody else ask one. If you have another one, get back in line and ask again. Don't do a continuous line of questions where you're asking 3 or 4 in a row. Just to respect everybody else in the room that might want to ask a question. I think that about covers it for that. So we're going to get to exercise some of that. But the first thing we're going to do this morning is probably go for public comments. We have, now you can fill out sheets for public comment, but also after I'm done with those that do this, if you raise your hand, you have 3 minutes and you can make a public comment. So we have a public comment from Diane Longs.
Lanes.
Lanes. Okay.
I'm sorry. Where would you like me to stand?
We don't have a microphone.
We don't have a microphone.
Then you're gonna want to stand up here close to her. Keep taking the minutes so she can make sure she hears everything.
And then also the microphone's up here, and so that's why.
Do what now?
The microphone's up here. Oh, that. Okay.
Good morning. I am here today and all my comments are available in the back there. Regarding Senate Bill 318, which was looking at the consolidation of all the fire departments. And the first draft was that they would consolidate and they could leverage a tax outside of our cap of property tax, meaning more money out of our pocket. And the word was unfunded mandate. That means our pocketbook. The second draft now, which was drafted March 11th, is just requiring a study of this. I would say, I would ask that the citizens of Sun Valley and the CAD follow this and monitor it for the next 2 years to see where it may land. This is about money, and if this department is created, it could free up tax money from the property tax that we currently pay, so they can go into debt more, because this new entity will have this authorization to assess and tax. So we need to monitor this and make sure that we get what we're paying for, because our property tax is already causing our youth not to be able to buy homes here. Unit owners have a property tax that is going to be expiring, and they're going to be losing 7.6 million. So all of the entities need more money, and if this is one way to get it. What we are asking for is mutual aid and a one dispatch center only. This is what they do in Las Vegas, Clark County, North Las Vegas, and Las Vegas have done for 3 decades. So we're asking that that's what they really look at, is mutual aid and one dispatch center. And the other tax impacts they're looking at by local entities are sales tax, D&V increase, and your mileage tax. The mileage that you drive every year, you have to report. That pilot program ends and next year in December. The DMA may, and the legislature may say, let's make a law now, meaning you will report your mileage like you do now, but you'll be taxed on it. The biggest hurdle is Assembly Joint Bill Resolution, Assembly Joint Resolution 1. They want to do away with your abatement on your property tax. And upon a sale or transfer, they want to bring it to full value for property tax on the new owner and have an assessor go out and reassess that property. So it could even be higher after they remove the abatement that we currently all get right now. This does require a constitutional amendment, which would mean 2 consecutive sessions would have to vote it, and we would get a chance to vote this up or down. So we need to start monitoring these for everyone, and that's the conclusion. My comments are back there, and I do have the second print of the bill back there, which is to study. It was not to study to begin with, it was going to happen. But now there's a study. Thank you. Thank you. I have to go home, take care of a handicapped husband.
Anyone else want to make a public comment in the first round? Mark Newman.
Good morning, everybody, board. For the record, my name is Mark Newman. The other night, Carol, Heidi, Veronica, and this lovely young lady, we're all at the county meeting discussion that we had at the county commissioner's building. And it kind of sounded like they want to change all kinds of our name, what we can do. And so please let your county commissioners know that when they already took the bite, we used to have developers come and talk to everybody in the community. And in the cab would vote and give and bring it to the county commissioners. Now they have a neighborhood meeting and the developer brings it to the county commissioner, just like the Chocolate Drive project. Oh, how many people were here? 50? Maybe more?
Yeah.
They brought the county commissioner, said we had one approved and one didn't care if it looked good. They forgot about the rest of the room saying, we want houses, we don't want apartments. The whole rest of the room was forgot about. The county commissioners only listed a developer. The board, we had no say in it. The developer had to say. And we all got screwed with the Chocolate Drive apartments. This is happening a lot. They're taking a bite away from us. Now they even want to take more from us. So let your county commissioners know that we want to keep it as a citizens advisory board, not a constituent advisory board. They have all kinds of names, but basically they just want to take it away from us. So let your county commissioners know. Jeannie Herman back over here, Mayor Luz Garcia and back over there. Is that Mayor Luz over there? Okay. And that's Mayor Luz is County Commissioner of District 3. Jeannie Herman is the County Commissioner for District 5. They're also talking about, because we are the only district in all of Washoe County that we have 2 county commissioners. They want to try to combine it into just one and forget the 2 of us. So we won't get full representation from either one of them because only one would be representing the whole valley. So let them know at the county, to our county commissioners, both of them are here, that you want to keep it as a citizens advisory board, and you would like a little bit more input in what happens in our community, other than the developer just making up their mind for you. Thank you.
Anybody else want to make a public comment in the first round?
Michael?
Yes.
Hi, everyone, Alexander Wilson for the record. I did want to reiterate, that we did have a cab ordinance input session on Tuesday.
I can't hear you very good. Could you speak up?
Yeah, of course, sorry, I'll use my big girl voice. So we had a tab input session on Tuesday, that Mark had mentioned. It was regarding the ordinance language. I wanted to let you guys know that there are going to be other sessions because we're just in the very beginning of the cab ordinance language, so everything that's written in ordinance, and then we'll narrow that down all the way down to the bylaws and as well as the resolutions to talk about the purpose and that type of thing. So most of the stuff that we're doing is cleaning up language. I did want to note that there's actually 3 cabs that share boundaries. It's Sun Valley, West Truckee Meadows, and South Truckee Meadows. So districts 2, 4 share a boundary. Districts 1 and 5 and districts 3 and 5 all share cabs out of the 8. So I just want to make that for the record. So if anyone was unable to attend, we do have the recording online at the cab homepage, the video recording, as well as the ordinance language that's proposed. And we will be bringing it to the Board of County Commissioners on the 13th, so the next one that's coming up the first Tuesday. So if anyone is available or would like to attend, please let me know and I'll make sure you get the information. But that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to make a public comment before we move to the next item? All right, remember, there's another opportunity to do so if you want to wait till the end, and we'll call you again before we adjourn. We're going to go to item number 4 then. Approval of the minutes for the meeting of April 5th, 2025.
I move we approve the minutes.
You have a motion and a second, so all in favor? Aye. What about you, Veronica?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Aye.
I think it's unanimous. That's all right. All right, so now we're gonna move on to item number 5, which is our public safety updates. Who wants to go first? Fire department or sheriff's department?
Fire department.
Oh, fire department gets to call first this.
Yeah, we'll be their opening act this time.
Oh.
Derek Reed, battalion chief with Truckee Meadows Fire for the record. I'll start off with our call volume for April 2025. So we had 6 fires, 199 EMS calls, 9 motor vehicle accidents, 6 hazmats, public assist 8, good intent calls are 30, false alarms 5. And that pretty much concludes the numbers. So the total of 264 calls, which is a really good sums out of there. I did want to mention that tmfpd.us has a ton of information regarding maybe a lot of questions that you guys may have specifically with open burning. We're talking open burning, recreational burning. All of that's listed on the website. The tiles are nice and big, easy to see. You click on them and it gives you a ton of information on what means what fire code that falls under. So it's a good source of information. Open burning is closed until the fall. So I wouldn't expect that to open up anytime soon. And that's it. Anybody have any questions?
Hi, Heidi Silver. The hazmat calls. Is that
I couldn't tell you because I don't have it. If we get a call for service for hazmat, it could be something simple or big. It was nothing. I have my hazmat BC right here. It's nothing that we called a greater alarm out for. So it's probably something that was mitigated with a single engine company. It could be fuel on the ground. It could be a propane tank that's leaking, the smell of propane, things like that. But if it escalates to what we call a hazmat 2, then we get cooperators to come in and assist with the mitigation of that incident.
How would you notify the community should it get to the point that you need to go someplace else?
So, well, we have an application for that connects directly with emergency management, and we can actually draw a polygon on our phones and show where the evacuation areas and the egress or evacuation. We place and then emergency management takes it from there.
Cool,
Same thing with wildland fires.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mike Ryder, Chair of the CAB. What's our fire season looking like this year?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I would say more of the same. As soon as it gets hot, dry and windy, then we're going to be very attentive to what is happening. Our department in particular, Truckee Meadows Fire, we've been having pre-season meetings with ourselves on how to call for resources outside of our sphere. And also having meetings with those cooperators that will be responding with us potentially in our jurisdiction or theirs or boundaries that touch one another.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Carol Burns for the record. Could you tell us, the goats that they show on TV, can we get those goats out here in Sun Valley?
That is a program run by BLM Forest Service. Who does that?
Who is it?
I think it's BLM for the actual goat grazers are out typically on BLM land in larger parcels.
Mostly BLM land, larger parcels, interface, intermix type.
We're surrounded by BLM land.
Correct. I can't answer that because I'd have to confer with BLM on what their protocol and priority areas are for that, so.
I'll see if I can get you some information, Colonel.
I was gonna
I'll see
say,
if I can get you some info on.
Mark Newman for the record, since Jared moved on to a different thing, we don't have a new representative that's come from BLM and Nevada for Nevada. So we have their number. Is there a chance that we might be able to get them to come in sometime as a future agenda item?
I'll put it on our list to try to see what we can do.
And maybe that they can answer those questions for us.
Great plan.
I believe that Commissioner Garcia is going to address some of these items when she does her comments later.
Any other questions?
We have a question. Hi, Veronica Cortez. What did I say? I'm a member? I'm a member.
No, I could just use them.
Okay, Veronica Cortez. So I'm new to this whole fire department thing that they want to change. Have you heard about this?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you feel about it?
I think it's another study. I think it's gonna take some data collecting to figure out what they wanna do. I've been a firefighter for 25 years in this area. They've done study after study. This one's a little different because it has more to do with financial impact than the actual pieces on the board. But it is just a study. It is above my pay grade as far as what that means, but I wouldn't get, I think you have your community subject matter expert here in the audience, and that's excellent.
Okay.
And then you wanna just stay informed. Nothing's gonna happen all of a sudden, and it hasn't over the last 25 years. You know, we've had consolidation, deconsolidations, but we're talking within greater than 2 decades.
Well, I'm brand new to this, so any information you give me is very helpful because I'm brand new and then I can go out and tell people.
I can give
So
you
thank you.
my personal opinion on it is, and I'm probably not allowed to do this, is just, I'm patient and I'm not getting on the roller coaster until we have all the information in, and then we'll have a clear picture on what might happen.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Next up is the Sheriff's Department.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sergeant Davis with the Washoe County Sheriff's Office. Just real quick, actually, in the back, on the forms that are already back there, there's an information sheet with a bunch of the information about crime statistics for the Sun Valley area, specifically. It has a lot of the numbers looking at Q1 from 2025, as well as compared to the 3-year average. So if you're looking at some of the specific types of calls for service, you have that information there. Just some of the numbers that we have from April, so April 1st through April 30th. The Washoe County Sheriff's Office responded to 1,080 calls for service. That is in addition to proactive work such as traffic stops, subject stops, and things, but 1,080 calls for service. Of those, our county is divided into beats or patrolling areas. There are 8 beats in Washoe County. Sun Valley is our 3 beat. 368 of those calls for service were in the Sun Valley area, which accounts for 34% of our calls for service for the county. A couple other things that you may see, if you look at my uniform, my badge is shrouded. It's also called a morning band. But what this signifies is, this is a memorial band that we wear on our badges. So if you see a police officer in the next several weeks, you will likely see them having a badge routed. May is a very important week for all of public safety, and is when our memorial weeks are, that we remember those who were killed in the line of duty. Actually, starting tomorrow is the National Firefighters Memorial Day. You likely will see flags at half-mast tomorrow in recognition of firefighters that have fallen. The next day you will see it is May 15th, which is National Law Enforcement Memorial Day. And then May 24th is the Emergency Medical Services Remembrance Day. So you'll see those throughout the month. Just a few numbers for us. Very luckily and very thankfully, in 2024, we did not have any peace officers killed in the line of duty in the state of Nevada. This has not happened in quite a while. However, nationally, we are recognizing 232 names that will be inscribed on the National Law Enforcement Memorial, of which 165 were killed in the line of duty in 2024, again, nationally. The state of Nevada is already on the list for 2025. In February of this year, North Las Vegas police officer was killed in the line of duty by gunfire. On February 2nd, the name was Officer Jason Roscoe. So he will be added to our memorials next year. So we're setting up for that. But if you see this, the morning band, that is what it means, and that is why we are doing what we are doing. We just concluded the first week of memorials at the Carson City State Memorial on Thursday, and the James D. Clough Memorial yesterday at Idlewild Park. With that, what questions can I answer for you?
I don't have a question. Ellen Chapin, for the record. I don't have a question, but I want to publicly say, we appreciate you. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, everyone in this community feels that way. We thank you for your service and what you do for our community.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next item then, which is our neighborhood development hub.
Hello, Alexandra Wilson for the record. Let me pull up the neighborhood development hub for you.
We can't
Can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I was just pulling it up real quick. So we have the neighborhood development hub, which we go over every month to talk about any meetings that are in this neighborhood or adjoining neighborhoods that you guys might be interested in. So how you can access this page, I just want to go over that real quick, go back down to the basics. You go to washoecounty.gov. Once it loads here. We'll give that a second. So if you go to washoecounty.gov, there's a search bar, perfect. Right here, and then if you type in neighborhood development, it should take you to our neighborhood development page link. You click on that and that gets you over to our neighborhood development hub page. So in the Sun Valley area, I don't believe we have any upcoming events. Usually any upcoming meetings will show in the bar down here. But at any time, the project list will be listed here on the left, and you can click into any one of these projects to see the details. If you weren't able to attend, all of these meetings are recorded, either by video or audio. The questions that were asked are also recorded, as well as a summary of the information that was provided and received. This information then gets packaged and sent, the developers package it, not developers, I'm sorry, the planners get the information, package it, and put it as a part of the staff report to the governing body. So that could be the Planning Commission, the Board of Adjustment, Board of County Commissioners, and so on, depending on what that looks like throughout the process. So as of right now, I don't have any new projects to provide, but if anyone has any questions on how to get here, or if they want information on existing projects, please let me know and we can walk through those. The other thing on the same item is other engagement opportunities. So I wanted to show you guys what board openings we have currently. So right now, this just opened actually Friday, and we'll start communicating it out Monday. But the Nevada Local Justice Reinvestment Coordinating Council has an opening starting July 1 of 2025. And so we are actively recruiting for that. It's a board that advises the Nevada Sentencing Commission. There's not necessarily any qualifications necessarily, but if you do have a background in recidivism, or if you have just an interest in that sort of field, you're welcome to apply. And again, it's not district specific, so anyone is welcome to lend their expertise. The other one that is open, Parks actually just closed, so we'll take that one out, but we did have around 20 applicants for that. The other one that's open currently is the Washoe County Advisory Board to Manage Wildlife. We're looking for the public seat for that, and so again, no requirements, not district specific. But if anyone is interested and cares about the wildlife, fishing, hunting, licensing, regulations, so on and so forth, they are welcome to apply for those board openings. And with that, I don't have anything else.
I have a question, application for the record, and how do I access or get all of this information without a computer? I am not on the internet, I'm so not on the social media.
If you contact me, I can mail it to you, or I can drop it off to you, or I can have it printed and available for you when we come to the CAB meeting.
Okay, so now I have the information, but how do I do anything with it if I can't use the?
So the application, if you want application, we can print them and have one available for you to pick up, to fill out, and then put back in, and we can enter it manually into our system. So I've done that probably 7 or 8 times throughout the last 2 years, where individuals have preferred a printed application, and so that's a very easy fix that we can do. Any other questions?
All right, then we are done with that one. We're gonna move on. This is going really quickly today, because we haven't got that, right? I can't read, presentations. We're down to item number 7, which is board commissioners. And sometimes, county managers, I don't see you here today. So we'll start with the commissioners. Who wants to go first? Okay, then. Commissioner Garcia. You're up.
Okay. Is anybody online? Hello, Commissioner Garcia, for the record, good morning. I wanted to start off by saying thank you for bringing up the James D. Hoff Memorial. I attended that event yesterday, and I've attended every year. I clear my calendar, I make sure I go, because it is so beautiful and it's open to the public. So if you ever want to attend, the way they do it is they typically have the families who've lost loved ones come up to the front, and it just is like, it crushes your heart. And then they go through everybody that responded to a critical incident, and they tell you about what happened, and then they give them plaques. It is just very, very humbling, and a good reminder that we can't have a healthy community unless we have a safe community. So let's give it up to our first responders. This week was a really busy week. In addition to going to that, I was gave some opening remarks at a substance abuse and mental health conference on Thursday. I did that right before I ran over to the National Museum for the senior fair that was there. So there's a lot of great things happening in the community. I'm trying to hit as many as I can. Speaking of events, I just came from a cleanup, so I don't normally dress like this. The Keep Truckee Meadows Beautiful had their great community cleanup. Sites all over Washoe County, from Bird Eye all the way down east I-80 to Wadsworth and everything in between. I signed up for the site that is off of Pyramid Highway. We met at Coles because Coles is one of those urban interface areas where you're on pavement one minute and then take a step over and you're on BLM. And so those entry points is where we see a lot of illegal dumping happening. And so I volunteered up there, and a group of us were deployed to, on the top of Wedekind. So it's do you know where the big house with the rock outcropping is kind of looking over the golf course and hub? So we're right behind that house. There were people apparently just stopping at the top of the hill and rolling tires down into a ravine. And so we were running trucks up and down this dirt road and piling them in stacks of 5, took a picture. It's incredible the amount of trash, but I have to tell you, we caught somebody illegally dumping this morning. They rolled up, I kid you not, you cannot make this up. They rolled up in a pickup truck with a 6-foot pile of trash that they were just gonna unload in the desert. And they saw us with the dumpster, they saw us unloading tires. And we were just like, hey, you here to load that up? And we just kind of played it off, and we encouraged them to just put it in the dumpster. And they did. And then we made them help us load up a fridge. It was unbelievable. I was shocked, but the cleanup is still happening. I left early so I could attend the cab, and then there's a big barbecue that they're hosting at Rancho right after this. And so I encourage you, if you want to help out next year, they do this every spring before the snakes and all the critters come out. But it's really, really rewarding, and I saw some Sun Valley folks out there, people that you would recognize as well that have come to our cab meetings. So I really appreciate everybody signing up for any opportunity for that. Speaking of cleanups, I'm sponsoring another one. This one's called TNT, Tires and TVs. These tires are like giving me nightmares at night. There's so many illegally dumped tires everywhere, and they're flammable and they're just bad for the environment. And so we're just giving our constituents, Sun Valley, as many opportunities as you can to get rid of those. Please tell your neighbors, if you drive by a house that has 300 tires, please let them know. We can't take 300, we can take up to 15 per household. But if there's a special case that, just reach out to me and I can work with commission support like I did with the senior citizen who had a kind of a special circumstance last year. And thanks to Chief Moore, he was out there loading up tires with me one morning. So we're gonna be offering TVs, monitors, computers, laptops, and any other electronics, anything that plugs in, you can bring it. It's gonna take place on Saturday, May 31st from 9 to noon. We're gonna be posted up at Scolari, so we're gonna be nice and visible again from anybody driving up and down Sun Valley Boulevard. It's free. There's flyers. We're gonna start promoting on social media and getting the word out. So again, that's Saturday, May 31st. So there's flyers in the back if you want to take a hard copy. And then Heidi asked me to address 3 topics today. Oh, sorry, I forgot. If you know Spanish speakers, we're going to need Spanish speaking volunteers for the folks that need instructions on where to drop stuff up. That's really, really helpful. So I'm not running around from truck to truck. Heidi asked me to speak about Stella, BLM, and the Protect grant. So I'll just briefly address those and then I can take any questions. Does that sound okay? All right, so Stella Drive, this is actually Commissioner Herman's district, but I kind of started sounding the alarms because it started getting out of control. It's been happening for about a year. It was a squatting situation, private land, landowners don't live in Washoe County, and things were just getting progressively worse and worse and worse. And so I made a report and kind of raised the level of like, this is getting really bad. And so it was a coordinated effort between our homeless outreach team through the Washoe County Sheriff's Office. It was with Northern Nevada Public Health and Washoe County Code Enforcement. Everybody got involved and contacted the landowners. We were able to have sheriffs on site to issue trespass warnings to the individuals who were squatting. There was about 5 RVs who were people living out of, but there was no restrooms and there was no way to get rid of the trash. So things just started getting very unsanitary, and the piles were just growing with this. So they issued the trespass warning within, they had 24 hours to figure out where they were gonna go and move, and we offered resources. So that's where our Hope team were giving them options to get help. And so the individuals thankfully had all left in the time that they were required to. And the private landowner took care of the cleanup. So this is not coming out of taxpayer dollars for once. They had their own dumpsters and their own people, heavy equipment was required. And I've driven by twice already. First day, I could tell they were making a dent. I drove by on Saturday last week and I was just like, it was Wednesday of this week. I drove by and I was like, wow. And so they were supposed to be done on Friday. So I'll cruise by and check it out. But they were making huge progress. They had already gotten rid of a boat that was full of clothes. That went away. And so I'm really excited to see that property, and hopefully they'll fence it so that we don't have this issue happen again. So that's the quick update on Stella Drive. BLM came to present. I requested that they come to the Board of County Commission to shine a light on all of the illegal dumping that we're having, not just here in District 3, but all over Washoe County. And so Officer Mike Yost came and gave a pretty comprehensive overview of what they can and can't do. And bottom line is BLM doesn't have any resources. They barely have people to patrol, and their regions are just massive. And so they really rely on us to be the eyes and ears, and so we need to continue to report illegal dumping by calling 311, and then those reports go directly to Officer Mike Yost. Then they coordinate with folks like Desert Pigs. There's a lot of volunteer-based organizations that do the cleanups out there. BLM does not clean up. The only thing that they are required to clean up is hazmat situations, which involves, like you were saying earlier, incidences that have, fuel or liquids or things of that nature. That's the only budget line they have that allows them to pay for the cleanup. And so that was a really eye-opening thing for me, because I just assumed that they did the cleanup, and it's not the case. So it's really on us, it's really on our cab. We can empower each other to get involved in these cleanups, and you can make a big dent really quickly. I could talk more about BLM all day long, but I'm not going to. Last but not least is the Protect Grant. You've heard me talk about Sun Valley Boulevard being NDOT's jurisdiction for years now, right? So I kind of came out the gate saying that was going to be a big priority for me, for us to eventually take ownership of that stretch. It's a 3-mile stretch of road that really should belong to county and be, have the sheriff's jurisdiction over that, is the highway patrol, and having us be in charge of the roads. And eventually that is the goal. But we need to do the drainage and infrastructure first before the county NDOT would transfer that stretch of road to Washoe County. So we applied for a grant last year and did not get it. It was a Connecting Communities grant. It was a very well done application. We had a competitive application. We just were not awarded. Then we were told, you know what, check out the Protect grant. And that's when RTC came to this cab, asked for letters of support. We submitted another great competitive grant, but the feds backdated the application and we were not eligible to submit. So it is not in the queue. We weren't allowed to ask for it. I was very, very disappointed. I just met with Senator Catherine Cortez Masto last week to tell her how disappointed we were and how much we need this to be done here. And I have a meeting. I'm going to DC for an infrastructure. RTC's taking me to DC to do another conference, and I have a meeting scheduled with Senator Rosen, and I'll also try to get in front of Amadei. But this is a $40 million infrastructure need that we need in Sun Valley that would have been covered by these federal dollars. And there was a $40 million match on the table from NDOT ready to go. It's so disappointing that it was this close. So I'll keep fighting for it. But I'll let you know if there's any other grants coming up in the future. Questions? Yes.
Ellen Chapin for the record. This will be my third meeting request to whoever is available to do something about it. Is the signal configuration from Selmy, or actually McCarran Selmy to the bottom half of Clear Acre.
That's what I
Still,
yeah. I haven't done it yet. I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm on it. It's in my email. But yeah, she did type it up for me. So I have not reached out to Bill Thomas yet, but it's on my list of things.
okay.
I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Carol Burns for the record. In our last meeting, we asked about the Reno Dandini apartment development that this Wood Rogers is supposed to be, we're supposed to contact him. Were you able to reach him?
I am not involved with that development. I don't think I agreed to reach out to the developer.
Well, it's going to affect Sun Valley down there at that corner.
So you can reach out to the city of Reno and the representative. Who represents that? Is it Ebert?
Wood Rogers?
I forget which council person represents. It's Ebert. So you can reach out to Reno City Councilwoman Megan Ebert and let her know that you're concerned about that development, and then she could potentially reach out to the developers. I don't know how far along that project is because again, it's not within the county's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to mention, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Just an update on the Sun Valley, Mark Newman for the record. Update on the BMX park for the Sun Valley Regional Park. Want to give an update on that?
So there was a little bit of a gap in communication, I think, between the biggest little city bike group and the county. We connect, Commissioner Herman were at the dais one morning and we got that settled. So county staff started talking to the BMX group, and so they were working together on the redesign, redevelopment. I just drove up there to Sun Valley Regional Park, but I didn't go into it, so I haven't seen it. So you probably have a better,
I tried getting in the back way, and I couldn't get in
yeah,
that way.
I haven't seen it with my eyes yet, but I'll take a drive up there and check it out. But yeah, there's progress being made, and from what I heard last is that the bike community was really grateful. Once they knew that we were doing it in the right way, and I think their anxiety was calmed after they were able to sit down and talk to each other.
Sorry, I just wanted to, Veronica Cortez, wanted to add stuff to the Stella property cleanup. Even before all these groups came together, her and I remember, we were in a just text back and forth, she said, cause my trust is across the street, so it's gonna start with somebody. Each of us here in the room can be individual superheroes. This simple text has started out just, hey, can you help me out? You know, my dad's 81, he's back and forth to Mexico. And then it turned into this huge thing. So if you think you can't make a difference, you can, but you have to say something. You have to stand up for what you believe in. And believe it or not, there's a bunch of people that will be behind you and support you. Another funny thing, one of the motorhomes from this, they pushed down the street and it caught on fire. And so we have this video, this motorhome that blew up in front of the pallet place. So the pallet company moved it over. So
I just showed them the video.
did you, it's
Yeah,
like,
it's
so we're
unbelievable.
trying, but we have a lot of things that were plot twists in this whole thing. So thank you so much for your efforts, you know, what you're doing. That was, okay. Thanks.
Alright, any other questions? Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Herman, did you wanna say anything? Okay, well then we'll move on to board comments. I've got one if nobody else does. A couple of things. One, Stella, they cleared most of it, Commissioner. I live the next block over. I've been keeping track of it. We run some drones over the top of it for inspection. We all know where all the extra motorhomes, the ones that did leave there.
Yeah.
We can tell you where they all are. We know where
Please
they
report it, please report it.
So, yeah, so we know where everybody went, which direction they went, and that motorhome that caught fire finally got towed off of Harmony sometime last night or this morning. It's gone as well. So it's out of the neighborhood. Don't know where it went. Well, I kind of think I do. I think the neighbor says it's up on porch now.
It's
yeah.
slowly but surely moving
So-
around the neighborhood.
So, but I just wanted to give an update that that area is pretty much clear. There are some other things I'll talk to you when we have a time to talk one-on-one someplace else. We'll go over some of the things I know that you maybe don't know about what's going on up there and where some of those people are hiding out instead of getting help, which I don't understand. I have a hard time understanding why they won't let you help them, but they just don't want to help some of them. Then on the other part, I wanted to make a comment on the parks. Right now, as we're here sitting in this meeting, there's a soccer game going on, a BMX race is going on, baseball being played, and that's just in one park in Sun Valley, and that's right this minute. We have all those things going on in our recreation right now. All these children out there, now see one is so small, I can't believe they're playing soccer. The ball looks like it's bigger than the players. But I just encourage you all, we're fighting the good fight here, but let's go support our youth and all the things that they're doing out there as well. And you can put a smile on your face. This is serious stuff in here. We fight a lot of battles in here, for our community, you know, for trash and for law enforcement and all the things that we do in here. Give yourself a break and go enjoy the other side of the coin. Go see what we're doing for. The reason we do all this stuff here is so we can have communities that can have all these recreations, that we can have all the youth out here, you know, enjoying themselves and keeping them out of trouble and enjoying. And it's good for the heart to go see some of that stuff as well. So please take an opportunity, if not just drive by and enjoy watching the little ones play out in the parks and enjoy the beautiful parks that we have in this area. And thank you to Commissioner Garcia. We've been dealing with that kind of Stella thing for longer than I care to imagine. We are moving our sites to courts. That's our next thing. We're going to try to help you take care of, get courts taken care of. But I want to thank all the people that were involved in that, because it's a large group. We can't get anything done one person at a time. But when you start involving all of us, we have a lot more power than we realize. We all pull together at the same time on a particular thing and go for it, try to clean it up, try to help our neighbors. When we're all together doing it, it is always possible to get done. So, and I appreciate all of you that are participating in those things, and all of you that participate and everything else in our community. That's why our community does as good as it does, is because of all of you. And I thank you for coming out. Anybody else want to make a public comment from up here? Heidi, you're next.
Yeah. Can't have a meeting without me down
Heidi Soper for the record.
there. I so for the record. I just want to thank everybody for coming. We got a lot of things going on today, and I really appreciate you all coming in to see us. And I wanted to remind you, if you have something you want to discuss, topic of conversation, please tell us. If you don't want to stand up and request it, grab one of us, grab me, I don't care. Tell us after the meeting if you want to. There are a lot of people that don't like to speak in public. But if you have something that's important and you want to discuss, please let us know, okay? All right, thank you again for coming, and I hope we see you all next month.
I just want to say thank you one more time, Veronica Cortez, Junior Herman, for all her work. She doesn't say a lot, but she's doing a lot of great things behind the scenes. She's a great mentor for me, and I just love her to see her up there, and I'm down here, I'm learning so much. So anytime you can support her, she has great ideas. So thank you for all your work. You're a great person. Thank you.
Some updates for the board.
Please, 1,000 times to do it.
You guys are hearing a lot from me today. Hi, Alexandra Wilson for the record. I just want to provide a few updates based on some requests that were provided by Heidi from members of the public. So first of all, thank you, Garcia, for highlighting the TNT that you're organizing. Again, if you know any Spanish speakers, I will be printing out 100 flyers. That I know Heidi is always happy to help, but if anyone wants copies to spread throughout the community, I will reach out to you guys once they're printed to do some pickups. And then again, we'll be posting that on social and making sure we're getting a lot of bang for our buck on getting people out there and getting those tires out of the communities and all of the e-waste, which is historically really difficult to get rid of. So I did check and made sure Hero, who is our partner in this, and you'll see their logo on the flyer, they're accepting tube TVs. So tube TVs are incredibly hard to get rid of because of the materials that are in there, but they've agreed to accept those because a lot of people don't know how to get rid of them. And there's not a lot of ways to do that in our community currently. So those will be accepted as well. For the topics, there was a request for a senior STEM seminar, which I was working on, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was in the Older Americans booklet, which I provided in the back. They are doing, through the Better Business Bureau, 3 sessions for scam prevention on May 6th, 13th, and 20th. So make sure you get a copy so you have the opportunity to attend. And those are going to be out in the community, I believe, at different library locations. So anyone that is interested, please attend those. I believe they are going to be recorded, and if anyone needs that, I can go ahead and try to acquire that for you as well. The other request that was made, or I guess a remark, is overcrowding in schools. That was brought up as a potential topic as well as a concern. And so I reached out to the school district, to their superintendent, and their operations person, Adam Cersey, had reached out and provided me this flyer, which I provided in the back. The schools aren't overcrowded. They're actually under their mark, about 80% across the board. But if anyone wants to know kind of the breakdown of those numbers and which schools in the area and what their numbers are, it's provided on this for you guys as well. There was a question about the Old Blue Moon bar site, which I did a little bit of digging through our Acela program. If anyone wants to know how to do that, I can certainly show you. It's kind of a, I would say personally, my own opinion, it's kind of a clunky program, but I can muddle my way around and help others figure it out. But that site is actually zoned for a new Dottie's is what I found. And so that's what's on the permitting. That could change. I don't know if that's for certain, but that's what was in the permitting file. And based on that request, I have asked planning to potentially come out to walk us through how to research that type of information, because I know that I know how to do it if you're working in Washoe 301 and in the county, but we want to empower the public to be able to walk through and see what those sites are doing so that we don't necessarily have to request that at a meeting. We can find it out for ourselves and our neighbors or individuals that are interested in those particular topics. The other thing that was asked right before the meeting, Heidi had noted that you guys had wanted an update from Catholic Charities on the different services that they're offering. I know they came out probably last year sometime, I can't remember the exact date, But I'll be working on getting, Catholic Charities back out to see what type of services they're offering and kind of give you an overview of how it's going so far in the Sun Valley area. Second to last thing, so, I wanted to address that as we are looking ahead at our flat budget year, the county unfortunately is making some tough decisions on our budgets and turning over every cushion on what we can save money on. So starting in fiscal year 26, July 1, we're no longer gonna be providing refreshments at the Sun Valley Cab. So these are paid for by Washoe County. I am gonna ask Kobe's if they'd be willing to provide still coffee and, water that's available, and we'll see how that discussion goes, but after that, we won't be providing the refreshments for the cab. That's also to be consistent since the other cabs do not also get refreshments. So, if we do offer it for one, we have to offer it for the others. In addition to that, we're also reviewing staff hours and workloads. We recently had an audit through the Office of the County Manager, and so we're looking at what type of services were provided, essential services versus non-essential, and so on and so forth. I don't have necessarily all the details on it. But, for the Sun Valley Cab, we'll be transitioning this cab into a Monday through Thursday meeting. It will no longer be held on Saturdays. And so I'll be putting out a survey for the cab on which days work best for the community. I know that we had done one probably 2 or 3 years ago. But again, we have other cabs that are hosted Monday through Thursday, usually 5:30 to 6. But we're gonna send it out to community. I will have printed flyers, Ellen, to make sure that anyone here can let us know what days work best for them. We're also gonna be posting it on the Sun Valley Facebook group, which I know is very active in this community. And then we'll also be sending out on an email blast as well as next door to get as much input as possible to make sure that it works best for the individuals that are interested in the cab. With that, I don't have any other updates, but that's what I have. Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
Heidi Silver. On our cleanups.
Yeah.
These are electronics and tires. How about paint?
So we did do one previously, it was back in November that we accepted all household hazardous paint. And so the idea is we're going to be targeting specific items just so we can collect as much as possible. But I foresee that there's gonna be a lot more in the future, collecting household hazardous paint and then potentially doing another wide scale one where we collect all the things. So general waste, tires, hazardous, household waste, e-waste, green waste, so on and so forth. But right now we're trying to do targeted. City of Reno is also doing some as well, and I'm not sure if you have to be a resident. I don't believe so. But they're accepting different items as well, kind of similarly. I believe they're also accepting household hazardous waste as well, and that's on their website, and they do send it out. If anyone wants the e-blast, please let me know. I do have a copy of it in my email that I can forward to you or print off as well.
Thank you.
Mark Newman for the record, can you mention the fact that May is actually Older Americans Month? And that book that you brought in for our seniors has a number listed of activities for seniors to do. It's not just 3 meetings, but there's all kinds of meetings and different hosting at different events.
Well, I think you covered it. But yes, Mark, you are right on the dot. It is Older Americans Month starting May 1st. And so anyone that's interested, there's a lot of events in there. I get the opportunity to edit it to make sure there's no spelling mistakes. Hopefully we caught them all. But yes, there's so many events. There's like an ice cream social, there's the Better Business Bureau, there's lots of different activities, both in and outside of the county that you guys can be part of. So please pick up a booklet. I did bring them so that everyone could have a copy. Carol.
Carol Burns for the record. Last month I asked about the 2 properties at 310 and 320 Gifford Way, where they're running a business at either property. Could you tell me what's been done?
So I believe that they have an open code enforcement case for those, but
I'm sorry, what?
I believe they have an open code enforcement case for those. But I don't have any necessarily specifics. Our code enforcement process doesn't exactly move very quickly because it's an administrative process. But if you get with me after the cab, I'll look it up to see what